my eyes were just really off that day, and I was sort of seeing double, like, when you're really tired and everything's a blur. So I looked at the test and I swear I saw 2 lines. And I was like, that's it, I can't do it. I like started smoking a whole cigarette. I was just like so mad because I did all my laundry so I could pick what I want when I go away.
Yeah.
Like I just got everything perfect. I've like taken care of all the arrangements. Anyways, and then my new roommate, he walks up and he did his test in his room just away from me, and like
Yeah.
and he comes in and he saw mine sitting there, and he opens up the patio and he's just like, oh, you're good to go, that's awesome. And I was just like, what are you talking about?
Like, he's like, it means you don't have it.
Yes. you don't have it, you're good. And I'm like, there's 2 lines. He's like, there's only 1 line. I'm like, motherfucker. Like,
Welcome back, everyone, to episode number 20 of the Johnny Rogers Show. My guest today is none other than Puff Mama 420, my former roommate and owner of the Underground Comedy Club, which is one of the more prolific comedy venues in Toronto. It had some of the biggest acts you've ever seen in your life go through there, and some huge rising stars as well. Please join me in welcoming. You're just putting your weed together now?
put some diamonds in my shatter pen.
Shatterizer. I suck. I have to take a break off of weed for 2 weeks because I had a tooth pulled. Whoa. So the dentist was like, do not smoke. It will not be fun.
Yeah, you end up with an abscess.
Yeah, he's like, yo, you're just gonna get, or like, what is it, a dry socket as well? Like, just like something happens where it just it doesn't heal properly, and then it's just like exposed bone, and you're just, oh no. Yeah. I'm like, I'm good. But I haven't actually had any withdrawals. I was expecting there to be some like serious withdrawals, but I've been fine. The only thing I've gotten is just like, I remember my dreams when I wake up. That's pretty much it.
I never have a problem with that. I always remember my dreams, but
I was always so bad. I would forget every time, and I would swear it was the weed.
I do notice that every time I take a break, I really appreciate weed. So you're like, oh, life is boring. But then, you can quit it anytime you want because it's not really addictive.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I can just stop this and I feel fine. Like, it's not like it's not
like I don't stop it, but I know I can.
Yeah. You're like, as long as I know I can.
No, there was a couple of broke days in the last 2 years of pandemic since I had to close the club. It's just been like feast or famine. You saw a good lot of it. You were there.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a couple broke days. I'm like, I guess I don't need weed today. What the fuck? I'm Puff Mama. Fuck. And I also don't want to bitch on the internet because I'm not that person.
Yeah, but you're like still like, oh, got it. What am I doing? Keef or something? I remember my broke days. It was just Keef bowls.
Scraping the grinder.
Mm-hmm.
Bonging roaches.
It's not fun. Bonging roaches is not fun.
In there.
When you get to that point.
I do not bong any roaches this last 2 years. That's more of a college thing, I think.
Well, there's a number of reasons why I wanted to have you on the podcast. One, you're one of my favorite people. I love you. So that's one reason to have you on. Another reason is you were a business owner that was affected by these goddamn lockdowns. And here we are again. You know what I mean? Like, so it's very, very frustrating. And I know that people don't like talking about it, but I'm like, I don't care. Let's harp on it, because if people don't talk about it, then nothing's going to happen. Right.
Where do you start on that though, eh?
It's just
like sometimes I think it's a blessing in the disguise. I feel like, when serial killers are told, well, if you had to stop me, I just would have kept going. Like, that's how the club was. It's like, toxic. If y'all hadn't stopped me, I would have just been dogging it and going like, what? Because after like the government told us we couldn't smoke weed inside anymore, it was like, well, what's the point of having this club then? Like,
yeah, because for anyone who doesn't know, the Underground Comedy Club was, prior to weed becoming legal in Canada, this was the spot to go to, because you could go into this safe room that was like it completely unmarked. Like you had to know that it was there in order to like figure out where it was. And then you come into this beautiful oasis room just filled with smoke and clocks on the wall that were all set to 420 and a giant pot leaf painted on the back of the stage. You might have heard Joe Rogan speaking about this room a number of times.
Many times.
Many times.
He was pretty impressed with us.
He was impressed with that. And then as soon as weed became legal, it was just like it just pulled the energy or the vibe like right out of the room.
Well, excuse me. All the lounges suffered.
Yeah.
Just me. And we were in this gray area for so long. Like even, not just Rogan, but all the comedians be like, how'd you get away with this? Like, well, part of me doesn't want to be like, yeah, it's gray area, we're fine. So I make it like because I'm cool or because I'm a middle-class white girl. Of course I get away with it. Like I would just make jokes back. But the real is like there's no fine number. This is the number on the piece of paper and signed by said officer. And there's none of that, so that you can't charge a person. The most they could ever do is get me for accessory to a crime. What, of smoking weed inside? Ooh.
Yeah, or if you were like selling or something inside, they'd try to like, get you on that or something, right?
I do have, and I still have this letter, and I found it when I was sorting through some papers. But I don't know, about 6-7 years into the club, I got a letter and it said, we think you might be selling weed. No, we have
we're under suspicion.
Idea that you might be selling. You're under suspicion for that. But if you are, please stop. And if you're I'm so sorry for this letter. It was like,
that you email them back to be offended.
But I think it was a blanket letter they sent to a bunch of places. I know other places got it too, but it was such a joke. You're like, you're under suspicion for this, and if you are, I'm really, we're not.
But if you're not, I'm sorry. Like so sorry. Canadian.
Please disregard this letter and our regards or something like that.
Yeah, I'm sorry to accuse you of that.
Fucking laminate that history books.
Yeah, I love that. And Oscar's there too. Oscar's the mascot.
No, if I like let him come on my lap.
Yeah, it'll be a whole thing.
Okay, let us do it. Come here, Oscar. Come here.
Pull him up. Hey, this is the benefit of if you're watching YouTube, you get to see a dog right now. If you're just listening on Spotify or Apple.
Pandemic puppy.
The pandemic
puppy. I'm not giving him up when I go back to work though.
So cute. No, he's just become a service dog now. Now he's necessary.
Now he's our mascot.
Aw, I miss you, buddy. He's looking around.
I don't think he can see the screen. Some dogs can't see the screen.
Some dogs are just like not understanding. Like, is he in the computer? He's around here somewhere.
No, wait. Some dogs we can watch TV, but some dogs just their eyes, the way they're shaped, they just don't see the TV. Huh? It'll be like this white blur.
Interesting.
All right, you come over here and I'll give you a treat. Come here. Got these chicken wrapped starch bones.
just a teaser.
Fried chicken wrapped around a chewy bone. See how that lasts. That goes so many treats. It's disgusting. Anyway, enough about him. Let's
get back to that. What are you looking forward to as soon as this lockdown lifts back up? Just right back into producing more comedy.
Strangers for no reason. That would be a great thing back. I was well known, always still is the hugger. I've been accused. Brian Posehn accused me on my own stage of rape hugging him before the show. He's just like, I'm not against people doing that. I just don't hug. And she just comes at you with this hug, and it's like a rape hug, and I'm just like, oh my god, I totally.
You're like, please don't put that word in front of the word hug.
We called it a rape hug, but it made me conscious after that of like, well, some people do have space boundaries, and now the pandemic's here. Yeah, we all have space boundaries.
Yeah, we better have space boundaries.
6 feet. And like, it's not even about the germs. It's like, I'm on my 6 feet.
You're like, I need the space bubble now.
It'd be hard to get rid of for a while.
My God.
I know. Oh well.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Hugging people, just being like for no reason, like give, a positive energy back and forth between people. People would hug me in the club and there'd be someone I knew in a group and I wouldn't know one dude. I'd be like, well, you can't get left out. Come here. And I would never see that dude again or chick or whoever, it would just be miss personal contact. I feel bad for the kids that they're not allowed to touch
That's
at
gotta
all.
be like, that's gotta do something along the
They're
line.
giving me so much therapy when they're teenagers, so much
Yeah.
therapy.
Like,
And
I
and
feel
they're
like therapy is
doing
normal
everything.
now.
I know that the parents are like, trying their best, and their teachers trying their best to just make them understand what's going on. But we're a tactile race. We need to touch.
Yeah.
We're
And
not
we
we're not
need that, like, even with school too, like they were talking about, like, just the importance of like achieving things and like celebrating milestones together as like with your fellow classmates, and different, moving on from grade to grade to grade, you're doing that all together. Like
yeah.
we took that stuff for granted. We just thought that it was like par for the course. It was normal,
I
but it's
took
like
peanut butter for
part of
granted, let
development.
alone Corona. Like,
Yeah. I took peanut butter for granted.
you trade food
Uh,
all the time. I don't ever remember peanut butter being a problem. And I'd get peanut butter banana sandwiches, and I'd trade it up for someone's salami, or vice versa,
yeah.
whatever.
Do we call the episode Grateful?
Oh, yeah, food sharing was a big part of my childhood. But yeah, you can't do that now. And now you can't even touch each other. Poor kids.
Oh my God. I remember
I would have been such an asshole if I was a kid in a pandemic. I would have been such an asshole.
I would have tormented my parents. My parents are like probably in the comment section right now. Like, yep.
You can't tell me
100%.
what to do. Just try and stop me.
And then you're coming home with Rona. Did you hear there was like a mom who locked her son in the trunk of their car or something because like he had Corona and she wanted him to like isolate. I swear to God, mom locks
It's literally
kid in
torture.
car, COVID. Yeah, it's like blown up. Texas mom accused of putting son in a car trunk to avoid catching COVID. Absolutely,
Wow.
you're just saying. I'll share it here
That's
for the
like
people.
a new level of
Is praised as best teacher
child
ever.
abuse. Oh my God.
Yeah, child endangerment after witness described
Praised
hearing a
as best
voice coming
teacher
from
ever. Okay,
She's
you
a
didn't tell me
teacher.
that.
I didn't realize she was a teacher. Oh, Reg, it's stupid independent. I'm going to teach everyone a little thing here right now. We're going to have a little lesson. If you ever see one of these paid sites and you want to get around it, you see right here where
Fake
the
news.
UK is.
This
Just
is
a
fake
little,
news.
put a little dot there and then hit OK. And then it just gives you the whole article.
It's
Oh,
not
it
fake
should.
news. Is the Independent a real newspaper?
I don't know. I think it's one of those
That's
like
such a whack story.
I think it's like one of those UK I don't think it's satire. I think it's real, but yeah, CNN reported it, but who trusts CNN either? CTV News reported it. I don't know if I trust them. The
A
Guardian.
little bit better than the others.
Yeah, we only trust Canadian news.
We have some, like, the boundaries the government sets up of things you just can't repeat.
Yeah. They're like, just don't talk shit about us.
So yeah, I know that in Canada there are laws that say you have to, if it's not a true story, you have to say it right off the bat.
Oh my God.
Pretty sure, or say it within the show title. You know what I mean? Like if you know The Onion,
like it's gotta have satire or something at the end of it.
Yeah, or fake news. I miss the Inquirer. Holy crap! The Daily News?
Inquirer, yeah.
The Daily News.
So many people. I remember so many people shared like The Onion when that first came out, thinking that it was real. Like the amount of people in my Facebook news feed.
Very obvious once you read the actual newspaper, like articles. Come here.
Yeah, you get like 2 sentences into it and you're like, oh, okay, I see what's going on here. Like, I've been duped.
Yeah, but if you've never read anything by them, or if you don't know like the energy of, if you're not a regular reader and understand what they're doing, if you're just a random suddenly read this article from over here, what the fuck, like, and they just love that. It's such clickbait, but also
I guess it's the whole point of the
but
site.
also you have half a brain to understand what's going on there, so it's kind of, anyway,
it just kind of exposes the people without that half a brain.
2 thumbs up on the Onion. Anyway,
hey, we love the Onion.
I don't know why I thought of the Daily News recently. I'm like, we never see that shit in the newspaper with like alien face with like.
Yeah, those types of stories have all moved to like online blogs, basically. Like there's like alien specific blogs that would do stuff like that, whereas before it was just like in paper. or there would be like one style of paper that
Now
would
you
put
have to
this
kind
stuff
of
out.
hunt for it or see it on your news feed on the social, but I just, that paper, like there in the supermarket,
Yeah.
aliens or mummies or Bigfoot or like pregnant teen male mom. I don't know. Like,
Pregnant teen gives birth to like 6 children or something. You're like, what? I was like that Octomom story. Holy shit.
oh,
That was hard to believe.
anyway, segue.
Segue out.
You're just asking me what things I miss.
Yeah.
But I was like, I miss this and nothing to do with Corona. Anyway, I did. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Things aren't going to go back to the way they were, though. I'm not going to be able to rape hug people too easily. Not at all. That's going to be I feel like that at first, just start with the fist bump or the elbow first.
Elbow.
Unless someone
Yeah.
puts out a bump, and then you're like, oh, cool, I can bump. And then sometimes there's this like, someone just breaks and bring it in. I don't care.
Yeah, because I feel like
Hugged the
everyone will get
person
that point.
before. I get that a lot with the comedians. Like, I've hugged them before, but also I want to respect boundaries. So I'm not going to name names. A lot of comedians I've been hugging, they're willing to be in a room with comedy, but like the touching is gone.
Yeah. They're just like, I don't want to like risk anything at any point, even if like it's somebody you trust. That's not what it's about, I guess, at the end of the day. Because
Well, it also help the rape scene going on.
How could I have done it? I can't even come near you.
6 feet.
Yeah, I'm not even within reach of brandishing that.
So yeah, that should help out that crew a whole lot.
Well, it definitely
Which is good.
I feel like the comedy drama kind of calmed down once COVID took off and started running. I haven't seen too much of it.
A lot of the drugs went down too. I like that.
That's nice. Yeah.
Well, a lot less cocaine for now.
Yeah, let's talk about the positives of this.
Let's look at the positives. I mean, it's still there, but more weed, a lot more weed smoking going on. I love that. People are becoming experienced, like, because they're being able to research shit online or watch or actually just smoke all weed all day because it's all they got to do.
And then they're like, oh, I'm fine, because they're just chilling at home. Whereas before they might not have taken that risk and they might have tried it or seen it out of their house, but then been like, I don't know if I want to smoke it because I don't want to get high outside of my house. Now they're getting high at home. They're like, I'm an expert now.
I often wonder too if so many weed shops opened up, like in Toronto,
so many,
like everywhere, all across Canada, just like boom, boom, boom. But like, okay, if we didn't have a pandemic, would we have had a slower process? Would, at the beginning when Doug Ford was like, no, there's a weed lottery now, you can, so the first few people that got it, like Tokyo Smoke, it's lottery too. You can't just buy your way into that, so it was like lotto spots, and these 6 companies got it, and it was like, what, you're gonna have one in each neighborhood? Okay, well, let's start with that. And then like other people got them, and then pandemic hit. I don't care, go ahead, over here, over there. There's one near my place that you just walk up. It's in a garage. I'm not going to name names because, I don't want to shame them, but I also don't want to promote any particular place. But it's an old garage, like a tire shop or something like that. In the office part, the glassed in area. Okay, they've got that all like secure now with like, solid walls and a little walk-up window. You just buy it in the parking lot part and there's like a chip truck.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Anyway, I just think it's like, wow, like they got a license. Well, I guess they don't have to have a proper exit if there's nobody in there, but the employee is basically a kiosk.
Oh my God. Cops roll up, they just shut it, just shut the kiosk. What are you going to break into?
That's the idea. And so maybe I think it's a brilliant style, because like once, the person, who the fuck's going to buy somebody buying a dime bag, like a legal weed? Okay, maybe illegal weed because it's better, but not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You never know when there's hungry people. But I still think it's hilarious that it went from like, you have all these rules and you can't do anything and it's got to be these big, huge specs, to like, all right, fine, walk up.
To like overnight. And then the Queen Street is just like Weed Street West. It's just like pot store after pot store after pot store.
I'm staying in my sister in Prince Edward County, in this tiny little town. I think there's maybe 500 people in the town. and
Like
count
6 weed
them,
stores?
5 weed stores.
I was almost right. I
And
said
there's a
6.
reserve nearby. But in the end, it's like, there's only 500 people here. There's
6 weed stores.
and like a reserve nearby. It's just like so much weed.
God,
So
that's so funny.
I just wonder, like, and I'm glad of that, having, been a pot activist for a long time and like wanting to see it legal,
Yeah.
to just see it like, well, the virus,
You're like, oh, we won.
I'm sorry, the rest of the world, that you are suffering so much, and try to look at positives here.
Yeah, because you fought for like weed legalization forever. Like you were huge into going to protests and going to like the 420 events at like Dundas Square, and
long before that.
Yeah.
2002, 3, 2.
Where did it like? How did you go from
public activism?
Yeah, I was gonna say, when did you go? Like, what was the choice, or what was the thing that made you want to go from pothead to pot activist?
Didn't take long. I mean, I smoked obviously as a teenager and in my early 20s, and I guess somewhere in my mid to late 20s, it was like, well, wait a minute here. And I don't know. Also, it was just like, if I drank too much, I have another day or two of waste after that because of hangovers and feeling like shit. Like, I could smoke all the weed I wanted all day long, and then at 4:00 be like, oh, I'm gonna just get a meal, and maybe I can start drinking now. Like, you can never do that with beer. By 4:00, you're on the ground.
Yeah.
So I really like that. So it helped switch me, from, more of a partier. And then I got thinking after that, about stuff. But it was mostly once I started like baking, which was a long time ago. I'm dating myself, but about 97, 96, 19, guys. 96.
1996, baking those pot cookies.
And I just made them for myself.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like me and, my boyfriend at the time.
What was that first weed cookie like? Do you remember the first weed cookie you had?
Gross.
Just tasted disgusted.
Yeah, just funky. And you can always tell when someone has homemade weed butter, because it kind of
just tastes like it.
Like, you can't just boil leaves in butter. Like, there's this like nice process of how you can get it out, and it tastes sweet, and you don't ruin the butter, and you don't just like boil all the chlorophyll out of the leaf, and it like mind you, most people bake with extracts now, which because of the availability of them, it is an easier way to.
Yeah, a lot of people just have those like weed butter machines, even, where just like you
saw my method. I would just like, guys, just like a little tiny pot with a little bit of water in it, and I put a bowl on that, and then like the butter and the weed goes in there, and I let it stir, and I keep a lid on top of the bowl, so like it's my own trashy double boiler method. Just I have the specific bowl that fits the specific pot in a certain way. It's better than a double boiler in my mind, but anyway. And then after a day of that slowly brewing, then I pour some water in to like, get rid of stuff, brew that up at least 6-8 hours. And then you strain it all, you put it in the fridge, the butter separates from the water, and you got a little puck. That's what you bake with. It's a little more than that, but that's the nutshell.
That's the simplified version of making wheat butter at home.
Go to my website, puffmama.ca, and you'll see all my recipes and secret on how to make butter. Little pictures of my hands.
Let's see if we can pull that up.
Oh, it'll go over to Underground right now.
Oh, yeah. I have Underground.
Puffmama.ca, put it in there and you'll see. But yeah, I put up this whole new recipe section actually. There, see cookies. And then there we go. See, like there's little pictures of, look, I'm squeezing the butter and how to make the butter. And then I put all kinds of.
This is so
I'm
cute.
pointing at the screen like you can see me doing that.
Yeah. I know I have the tendency to do that too. Hey, this is
some typos in here still.
Oh, well, as long as they get the idea, the link, I'll put this link in the description below if you want to make your
Yeah,
own
this is a new thing I did.
wheat cookies or fudge brownies or anything like that. The
Well, yeah,
directions.
and I took all of those pictures with knickknacks I have. So like they're original pictures
Hey,
that I took of the actual weed cookies I
it's
made.
not staged.
Actual, well, the photo is staged.
No, but like you know how like food product like commercials, they'll like it's not actually food that they're taking photos of most of the time. It's
Yeah,
just like
plastic.
it's like plastic. Yeah, you're like, what?
I've heard that if like cereal, because milk looks really pale, they use white glue.
Yeah, I saw that too. There was like a whole breakdown. I remember seeing a video about that, about all of the things that they use instead for the commercials, and you're like, no, stop it. And it looks so much better with
And then
than the
they'll sit them
actual
and
thing.
place the Cheerios in certain ways in the white glue so that it
Yeah,
looks like a bowl of cereal. Ooh, but also,
creepy.
oh,
Yeah, yeah. You're like, ew, but okay, I get it. It makes sense.
no, I just took pictures all myself on my shitty little camera and it works.
How you liking being in Prince Edward County?
It's very nice. I escaped the city and I felt like it was like, I don't know, I've watched a lot of zombie movies. It's my jam, but I felt like all the zombies were coming towards me. And it's not Corona, it's crazy people. It's not the germ. It's like, there's, dude, you're so glad to be out of the city now because the crazy is back at the level of like where it was during like heat of lockdown, the first lockdown. And it's just like everywhere you go is like, you know, sometimes it's really sad, you know, like one day I saw this really nicely dressed lady, you know, mid-20s, 30 maybe, and just silently crying, walking down the street. And I'm just like walking with my dog and she's just like, and you can see she tried to like hide with her hand that she was
Wow.
crying, but it was just like not sobbing, just like coming down. She couldn't
Just
stop
having a
it.
breakdown and just
And
can't.
I'm like, I wanted to
That
stop and
kills
be
me.
like, it's okay, you're gonna get through whatever it is. But then also now I don't know, like she looked like she could work it out.
Yeah,
But
it's
it was just like little things like that. I'm seeing so much of. There's more tents in this in the park near my the apartment, and there's just now with the little things going on, you know, like the testing that you have to do, like a lot of people can't get tests and things and people are just like acting weird, and then there's other people who are like still on the, you know, the side of
this is all
conspiracy, shall
bullshit.
we say. Well, there's different
You've
gradients.
been
There's like the
fooled.
full on like, you know, it's a conspiracy, this isn't real, to, you know, they're
COVID doesn't
duping
exist,
us,
like all that
which I
shit.
totally believe. Like I think we're being duped, but we don't know why. I feel like that the virus is real, it's killing people, it's taxing out our health system, but we're being taken advantage of in the process by
Yeah, never let a
certain
good
corporations.
what was it? Never let a good crisis go to waste.
You know, like Jeff Bezos goes to space, but he doesn't donate the trillions of dollars he made off us because we're in isolation and ordering shit off Amazon. Fuck you. Like, no donation at all. I'm going to space.
Yeah, thanks for that. He even like said as he was going, he like thanked the part-time employees or all the people that like worked for him, like to because they're the reason why he gets to do this now. And I was like, what? That's a weird thing to say.
Someone told me that, oh, I think it was my friend. She's a letter carrier. Somehow ended up in the big warehouse in Toronto for Amazon. She's like, it's all robots.
Oh, I imagine it's just like just stuff just move. There's
There's
probably just
no human beings like getting, so when you order stuff and sometimes you're like, I ordered 3 weird things and they're all in the same box and they
yeah.
came the next day. You're like, this, I know that they warehouse this stuff and that certain vendors, you know, once they have a certain status can get their stuff in the warehouse. I get that, but like just that robots know where that specific size, you know, of like
Barcode or
this
whatever.
hoodie that I ordered, and like, and they, oh, like, now I need some like, oh fuck. Anyway, it just think that's weird. It's like, well,
That's
what if it
crazy to
gets
think
the
about.
wrong thing? Like if it's a human, then we're like, no, but a robot put it there.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what if it's the, well, no, it's a box that robots are taking out of the thing to put there. I'm like, oh, it's robots all along the way.
Uh,
And that's where he's making his money too, is that he no longer has slave labor.
Yeah, he just has robots that can.
Just
They don't
robots like in
complain.
the
They don't complain.
warehouse.
They just work
Probably like one or two
24/7.
dudes like
Yeah,
monitoring all the robots, but
check them,
then
and you could pay them exorbitantly or not. You know what I mean? Like if you have no employees on the floor and you only have like staff supervisors or something,
yeah, that
just
probably just get paid regular. And now
if
you don't have some whiny employees.
who's being like, I want health
Like,
benefits.
oh, they're late
Yeah,
for their break, or
yeah,
Johnny's
or
taking a
they
shit in the bathroom again.
this order needs to go, or like, yeah, he called in sick again today, and you're just like, oh man, like,
So that's why, like, I don't know if I'm for or against robots, but I get it. I just don't think I can handle them in the car. I mean, we're bad drivers enough somehow. Us
yeah,
with robots, it's just
the
like
idea of
just need trains.
automated.
Then we just not have trains everywhere. People want their independent little pod of a car, and I get it. It's so much nicer to drive a car than to take the train.
The idea of like an automated vehicle though is like so scary. Just like the potential of just everybody in a car that's driving itself, so
There's a
that
book.
just so that there's no accidents, because they're going off of this whole thing where they're like, it's I mean, I got the vaccine, but they're like, get the vaccine, it's for your safety. And they keep being like, do this, it's for your safety. Do this, it's for your safety. Get in a self-driving car, it's for your safety. Like, we don't want you, we don't trust humans to drive cars anymore. You know, like it might get to something like
We
that.
suck as drivers collectively.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many people that die in car
Way
accidents and
too
like,
many accidents, way too many drunk people, people on phones, people with kids in the car suddenly screaming, people with dogs just jumping in the front. Like, that happened to me once.
I mean, it's an easy argument to make, right? Like, you're just like, there's a number of distractions and it would cut down on death, but it's just like, it's also the death of freedom. It's like, you can't.
There's a book by Ray Bradbury called I, Robot, and they also made a movie of it with Will Smith in it. But it's about the dilemma where Will Smith, the original character in the book, I'm sorry, he's not Will Smith. I shouldn't say Will Smith. Anyway, he's a police officer, and there's an accident, and like they're in water, and there's a car, and like he's trying to get people out of the car, and a robot sees that this is going on, jumps in the water, calculates like, I can only save one person, but this guy has a chance of surviving, lets the kid die, and takes the cop because he has a higher chance of survival. And there was something like he had to have his whole arm replaced, as he was like, but he now had to wrestle with the fact that this robot made a decision when he'd be like, take the kid, there's more potential there.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
the robot doesn't understand potential and why we value children that way. Anyway, so I was like, that's a thick dilemma right now though too, especially with robots going on and like letting them make decisions. I'm fine with them in a warehouse over there.
Where I can't see them. Yeah. Where they're just packing my boxes.
The little weird pink, like, oh, I think they got banned. The little pink food delivery trucks in
Oh
Toronto.
yeah, they did get banned.
They got banned.
Well,
Too
I
much
wonder
of a
why.
distraction. Also,
Yeah.
I think they were getting beaten up by kids. Like,
I was gonna say, I was like, it's
About
only.
that.
I'm like,
kids
this is
taking
very
baseball bats
trustworthy.
to them and shit.
Yeah.
You can't really charge them. Like,
just hitting it with your car or something. You're like, ah, damn it, I just hit a
are you
robot.
kidding? I would have been the one getting the baseball bat.
Oh my God. I saw one of those things and I was just like, all I thought was like, that is really trusting. Like, they really trust the city of
Just like
Toronto to
booting
just
along
let
like
these
a
things.
cartoon.
Yeah. And everyone's just looking at it like, what the fuck?
No.
If you haven't seen these things, they're just these little like robot on, was it kind of like tank wheels almost, right? Or did it have like,
doing it was Fedora?
yeah. Fedora, I think, use them. Yeah, there's these little pink robot things with just a camera on the front. I guess somebody's operating it somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But man, that.
No, I think they're just going by GPS.
Really?
And
They're just auto? Oh my God.
Yeah, I didn't think they were remote control. I thought that they were.
I thought there was like a camera or a sensor or something on it, and there was somebody controlling them.
Yeah, and it can sense if there's something in front of it, and it knows when it's at an intersection because of like Google Maps.
That's wild.
I could be wrong. I actually don't know. That's what I assumed.
I don't know. I don't know either. Now,
There's some homework for you kids to look up.
Somebody drop a comment down below if you know the answer to this one. As we always do, just throw it to the comments.
Well, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
What are you?
Oh my God. Shatterizer is really good.
I had a Shadowizer for a bit, and I really do like appreciate the high that you get from that over like other stuff. It's just so much, it feels so much lighter. Like if you want to get into smoking weed and you're kind of like, I don't know, like like it's too harsh on my throat. A Shadowizer or like a vaporizer of some kind is actually like a lot easier on your lungs, I feel like.
It takes some getting used to your throat right here. Just has to change a little bit. A little callus action. I don't know.
Whole slight
I
burn.
noticed when I haven't smoked it in a while, you're like, woo! And a bong hits more down here.
Yeah.
You've done a bong hit for a while, you're coughing really hard. So,
For me
it
every
just sits
time.
in that higher spot. Anyway, but you guys heard of diamonds before? So diamonds, I don't know, you can't even see. You can't see it at all. Okay, so they're little crystals, but it's an extract, but there's like a bit more wax in them, so you can grab them. Like they're like little silicone pellets, and you can just go doot, 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 doot.
Oh, that's cool.
I know, that's the newest extract. I'm very happy. I get these diamonds from Dr. Earl. Anyway,
I love that they're called diamonds. That's great.
I know. Maybe you can see it better that way. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe, yeah.
It's hard to see. I'm getting like a
The sticker on
reflection
the
off
bottom
it.
of the thing.
Just
Anyway, they
seeing
look
the
like
sticker.
little silicone pellets, like what you use for drying shit out.
Yeah.
Anyway. And yeah, but it doesn't like to try and get extracted, like, ew, it's gooey or it's sticky or it's falling apart. But this I can grab. It's not like too dusty like butter, which will like smear all over your hands.
Yeah.
Or how rosin is too gooey. Anyway.
Yeah, that stuff gets really nasty.
But yeah, throughout the pandemic, just because I don't want to even just go on the patio to smoke sometimes, and I'm just smoking less and less and less. I've just been going more with the edibles and the Shadowizer.
Hey. I cut completely back on cigarettes too. I haven't smoked a cigarette since, when was my last one? I want to say like December 20, might have even been like the 23rd or something.
Good for you.
Before that,
smoked a lot at some points.
Yeah.
Jesus, I was like making comments sometimes. Like, you go for another smoke, dude. You're like, whatever.
I'm like, yes, I am enjoying.
Okay. I didn't often make comments, but yeah. I'm down to like 2 or 3 a day. I get one half in the morning, and then another half 3-4 hours later, and then another half 3-4 hours later.
I'm just shocked. I'm shocked at like my ability to.
By the end of the year, last year, I would have been like done. So that, because usually I wean until there's no point in like stretching one cigarette over a whole day.
Yeah.
But although, what's funny is I'd gone the whole day, day before yesterday, and go lay down now. Go. I got a COVID test to just test myself before I came. I didn't want to drag it out to Prince Edward County here, be that girl,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and my eyes were just really off that day, and I was sort of seeing double, like when you're really tired and everything's a blur. So I looked at the test, and I swear I saw 2 lines. And I was like, that's it, I can't do it. I like started smoking a whole cigarette. I was just like so mad because I did all my laundry so I could pick what I want when I go away.
Yeah.
Like I just got everything perfect. I've like taken care of all the arrangements. Anyways, and then my new roommate, he walks up, and he did his test in his room just away from me, and like,
yeah.
And he comes in and he saw mine sitting there, and he opens up the patio, and he's just like, oh, you're good to go. That's awesome. And I was just like, what are you talking about?
Like, he's like, it means you don't have it.
Yes. You don't have it. You're good. And I'm like, there's 2 lines. He's like, there's only 1 line. I'm like, motherfucker.
That's some shit I would have done too. Just reacting immediately.
And then I'm mad that I smoked the entire cigarette. Like,
you're like, I think I got
so good at metering it out. And I was like, no, I can't. Like, I don't care if I get COVID. I'm healthy. I'll just kick it, isolate 5 days. No big deal, whatever. But I didn't want to cancel my whole fucking trip. And I'm like, I'm only going to Prince Edward County. It's not like I'm going to Costa Rica, you know? Like,
Yeah. It's like you paid for a flight or something.
some of those people, but not the people that took the private jets.
That was crazy. That was crazy. Why was that allowed? There was like partiers. They went on like a trip to Cancun or something.
Charter a plane, you can do whatever you want, except that the pilot and the staff didn't know what was going on. They just like had this plane chartered.
Oh
So I
my
guess this
God.
guy has a promotions company or something. And yeah, he created this whole thing. And long story short, half the people that were on that didn't even know they were going to be there. Like, they interviewed one chick and she's like, I just won a contest and I thought it would be fun, you know?
Oh my God.
So she's in shit, and she's like, I wasn't partying. I know there was one person with their mask on just sitting in the corner pissed off.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Anyway, some part of me, like, as a rebel, is like, holy fuck, that's hilarious, that's awesome, but also, you dicks.
Yeah, also you're gonna like make us have to stay inside for longer.
It ruined things for a lot of people. They're probably, the whole private jets, you know, world has changed now because of this, you know.
Oh yeah. And it's like, I hope you remember this incident. I don't know. Like, hope you had fun.
I fucking laughed when I saw that story, though. It was just like when you saw Chair Girl blow up, it was like, that's what this reminded me of. Like, there's Chair Girl with the fucking vape pen. She totally looked like Chair Girl. That's all I can think of.
If it would,
you dumbass, but let's
in all scenarios, yeah, it would be Chair Girl that would be on that plane.
Like that chick with the vape pen that was like, you're literally going on social media, like,
immediately. Like, what do you think is gonna happen?
No sympathy for that devil at all. Oh well.
Yeah, I really don't have any sympathy for stupidity at all.
Now, that party would have probably been fine if there was no COVID. So that guy,
or no cell phones. Or no cell phones.
There could have been a ban on filming, you know, like
if everybody was like, hey, let's be cool and nobody film this and we just party and have a good time. All right.
Nope, they did not give a fuck. We're influencers.
Yeah, they just wanted that clout. That's shit's dangerous. That's gonna get
some of the people on that plane were innocent. They, you know, they didn't know that was going down and they didn't participate.
I just assumed it was like the whole plane that was involved in it, like a massive group of friends or something that had rented this out. A bunch of rich kids.
Most of the plane, definitely, but
unreal.
But yeah, that I did see this article though about this chick was like, I just won a contest, you know, and then it turned into hell. She thought they were just flying down in a private jet, you know, and they would be partying at the resort.
Did it land in Montreal? Did it land in Montreal as well? Like, was there?
I don't know.
Or was it an American flight? I should have looked at it.
No, it went from Montreal down to
Mexico.
Canada?
How long would it take around Mexico to Canada?
Oh, it was Cancun.
Yeah, I think they went to Cancun.
I think it was just a direct private jet flight.
Damn. Because I was going to say, I was talking about this the other day on the podcast, but like Quebec made it so that they, if you want to buy weed or alcohol, you have to be fully vaxxed. And their like first doses went up like 6,000. They had 6,000 new people get their first shot.
Trying to take away that. Jesus, eh? That I didn't know that. That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Quebec did that. And I was like, God damn, Quebec. I was like, all right.
Weed I can get on the black market. I don't, you know what I mean? No.
Yeah, you're like, whatever.
You can get weed anywhere.
But booze.
But alcohol, like I'm not buying bootleg. Ew.
That shit is nasty.
That's so. Like, yo, Johnny, can you buy like, I don't know, 6 2-4s for me and last me?
Mail it over.
Is this all for you? Yeah, I'm hoarding.
Yeah, big drinker. You just like. I bet there's gonna be people that are gonna have to do that.
People that hoarded beer though. There was toilet paper hoarders. I bet there were beer hoarders. Like, but a lot of beer just in case.
I don't know if it's like supply chain issues right now, or if it's like people overstocking because they're scared with this like new temporary Omicron lockdown. But like the shelves have been empty. Like
Yeah.
a lot of the shelves have been empty. Is it the same thing in Toronto?
Uh, I've noticed that like I went in to get just some food to bring on the trip a couple days ago. And as I walked by, like the entire chicken section, there was none.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they were just like waiting on the shipment to show up, but there was no chicken, like no leg, like not even the shitty chicken, like no giblets. There's just the whole thing is gone.
That's
Or
crazy.
if maybe they had to throw it all out, like why would even like the organs be gone?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You'd think there'd be some organs left. So I think that
Something.
was there was a problem there. Is
If
that
I've
like
seen it
they
with
reach a
produce
certain
as well.
expiry date and you have to throw out the chicken because it's chicken. And if no one bought, even the giblets, you throw it out. They just throw that stuff out.
I feel like,
Um,
yeah, I
so,
just
but
can't put my
then they
finger
didn't
on
get
it.
their shipment in time to replace that chicken. But then the rest of the meats were all fine. But you could see people like, oh shit, and then just picking through other stuff because
So I guess I'm having
that's what
salmon
they're
tonight.
doing. Yeah, I'm lucky. I don't suffer for shortage of food where I am. I'm lucky.
Yeah, at least in like a major city that should be, you would hope, like the place where they pump in the most amount of food. You know what I mean? Like where it's getting shipped in the most. It has more truck shipments than like a smaller town. Like my brother who drives transport, he'll bring in like, or he used to when he worked for this one company where it was like food. He was
Mhm.
like the food source for this one town in like northern Quebec. So like when the truck came in, like that was like gonna fill that grocery store that was there, and that was it, right? So it's like he's he told me so many times where he was like in a parking lot and he'd say like people like eyeing the truck, like is that the food? Like is that my shipment? Like because there's no other trucks. It's like it's just this guy. There's nobody else coming into the town. You'd have to
I
like
do
lock
notice that
everything.
after the weather stuff going on in BC. This is so selfish, I know, but like all I could think of, like, oh, I have to get blueberries from Peru. Like those stupid fat blueberries that have no flavor.
Yeah, those
I
GMO
love
blueberries.
Peru, but we want local, small, like fresh berries.
Yeah, yeah. There's not those like we got some green apples today too, and they were just like they were pumped. They were pumped with GMOs. Those things were massive. I was like, I've never seen an apple this big in my life. Why
Yeah,
does it need to
natural
be
apple
so
is
big?
like that, but you're
Yeah,
seeing like
they're like huge. It was like the size of a like an orange or something. I don't know.
Franken food.
Yeah, it's not cool.
I
On
didn't
top
make
of
that
everything
down.
else.
Where did that come from? Is that a dog? Franken food?
Frankenfood?
Yeah, it's like food that's
Oh,
become
yeah.
it's
Sounds like
like
a good name for a documentary about
sauteed
food.
Franken food, like it's Frankenstein food.
Let me Google
That's like
Frankenfood.
food that's like Frankenstein.
It's a guy named
Um,
Frank and his food.
I know. I
Franken.
was hoping that now I'm in the country right now. I'm like, oh, maybe I should get my sister to hit some like. Is there a local vegetable place? I know it'll only be chard and turnip right now, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're like,
are
what's
they
in
done for the
season?
year? It's January's. They're still
There's gotta
because
be
whenever
some.
I'm in the country, I always like try and find as much local food as I can.
Yeah, that's the best, honestly. It's like those smaller towns, they have the best like farmers markets, like little like produce areas where
Even
it's like,
sometimes you just see a little kid or a little old
yeah.
lady with a kerchief, and you're like, I don't know what she's selling, but I'm buying.
But it's
Like,
gonna
and
be
I did
good.
that once. I
And I'm gonna
stopped
get
at
8 of it for $1.
no, we did this one time with a little old lady, and I don't know if she had a kerchief on, but she definitely was like, you know,
Someone's
old. She
little
looked like an
babushka.
old, like, witch or hag from a movie, like just old and wrinkled and like tough.
Yeah.
And then, we walked up and all they had was tomatoes. She's just sitting there with like, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get a basket because I'm here and like you're there. And it's oh god, they were the best tomatoes I had like
Yeah.
ever. Just like cut it and you can smell the nightshade coming off it. Oh, a little salt. We ate them raw. We went camping. We were just eating them raw. We're gonna put them on burgers, but they were so good. You could just eat a slice.
I remember my mom made like she planted a cherry tomato plant just like right in the backyard, and it was so nice to just be able to just walk outside and just pull it right off, and you can just eat it right there. It's
right there,
amazing.
so much better.
Oh my God.
I can't grow nothing on that patio, it seems.
Limited sunlight.
My weed plant got this big this year. That's it. Not including the stem. The
Some
whole
growth.
plant
The
was
whole
just
plant.
like this.
Oh no.
I think I got a quarter ounce off it. It's just like, fuck it. I'm
Not
just gonna
bad.
strip it like rosemary and put it in a bag and make butter.
Yeah.
Point.
At least you can get something out of it. And Oscar enjoyed the little pot leaves too to
Yeah, he
munch
did.
on.
But then when I brought it inside, it just didn't make it. It got mites.
Oh, it got mites on it. No.
It always happens to me. I bring it inside, it gets mites. And none of my other plants have mites. It's just like they feel,
Just that, eh?
Whoa, we love weed, and they come from all over.
They come from all around to eat Puff Mama's weed.
Anybody's weed. That's the thing. That's why they spend so much money on chemicals
like,
to keep the weed, indoor weed grow. Whereas outdoor weed costs like nothing on that. You just have to buy fertilizer and make sure, we've got
make sure you're tending your plants.
Yeah, keep a fence off, keep the deer off. That's a thing.
Stone deer walking around.
No, they do. They love weed. Bunnies.
What? And they munch on it and then just walk around high, or none?
I don't know if they get. I used to have a dwarf bunny.
Great.
It was like as small as my hand. This tiny little teacup dwarf bunny with little ears, little floppy lop ears. Anyway, and one day I just saw online, it was a picture of a bunny and it was a meme, but it had a weed leaf, and I was like, he loves vegetables. And I remember taking the leaf off the plant and bringing it to the cage and he put it into his nose, and I know that bunny never saw weed ever. He just like eyes got wide and was like, immediately devoured it. It was just like, it was the weirdest thing. All I could think about, if like somebody never had like roast chicken or a properly done steak on the grill, and that smell,
and
just
the first bite, they're just like devour it.
Where have you been? Like, that was like the bunny's reaction. Just like looked at me afterwards. I was like, okay, hold off, bro. Like,
you're like, all right, calm down.
See what this leaf does to you. But he never seemed to get high. But Oscar didn't get high. He just gets calm.
Yeah, he just gets super relaxed. That was the thing. It was like, so I would practice guitar, and then Oscar would lose his mind. He would hate it. He hated it. He would like hated the noise. Would bark at me. Then he eats a little bit of weed, and he's just laying in my lap as I'm playing.
Yeah, I think he got 3 leaves that day, 3 full leaves that day.
And he's just like, oh, this is great.
Why was I mad at the guitar? Like,
yeah. You should be mad at me for getting. He starts getting introspective.
Yeah, and I've given him CBD tincture, CBD dog cookies, nothing. I've given him
Doesn't work the same, eh?
No, and I've given him tiny amounts of like weed cookie where I know it is, and I can see he's not they're acting fucked up, but you can see he's unsettled.
He's like, I don't like this.
Solid leaf, which I know has not been, decarboxylated or extracted or anything. Like, it's just the leaf. It shouldn't be getting him high.
Yeah.
He's just calm. He's just like, oh, thank you.
Well, it's like pot has been used for everything. You know what I mean? Like from like concrete to like clothing to all these different uses that you can put it out of. It's like the leaf itself has to have some value just even on its own without anything being done to it.
Well, all those products that you talk about are made from the hemp plant, which does have a high CBD count, and a leaf might work if that's the thing that's active. In fact, most CBD extracts come from the hemp plant, not weed, because that's where it's very high in CBD. But yeah, for some reason, and me, I love all kinds. It's not like I'm like, no, only the plant works. And I'm like, it shouldn't work. Like, by all chemistry out there, my tiny bunny ate it. My last dog, nothing. No, this guy just calms him down. I don't get it.
Well, I guess it is what it is. Yeah, you're like, I'm not gonna. Yeah, he's fine right now. That's great.
Oh wow.
It was always on the 2% podcast when we were going that he would be going nuts. When it was just you and I talking with like somebody.
Yeah,
like, I want to join.
He's actually a lot calmer now as a dog. I mean, he was so anxious when I first got him, being a rescue and all. And now he's I think he knows that I ain't going anywhere and that we're a thing now.
You're a
You know what
team
I
now,
mean?
yeah.
We're a thing now, aren't we? And he's just not as insecure. So he's not as manic and like, oh my God, oh my
Yeah.
God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Yeah, well, like you were saying before, like was it last summer or something? Took him to a little party and just let him go, and he was kind of just like walking around saying hi to everybody by himself, like, and like
Yeah.
came over, found you, like.
Yeah. I think if he's also familiar with the people around him, and he's met so many people now, and the situation's never been the same. It's not like we've had the exact same apartment for 2 years I've had him, and the same two people. Like, we've had a couple of different,
Yeah,
I
it's
moved, and then I
revolved.
moved in with you, and then you moved out, and then a new dude moved in, and he's like loves him now, and I mean, obviously he hasn't forgotten about you, but he doesn't sniff around for you like he used to.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, it's Ewan now. Okay, cool. Like,
he's all right, we're good.
yeah. Oh, I said Ewan's name, and you just perked up there. He loves Ewan. Anyway,
so cute.
But yeah, and then I go to other people's. Here we are at my sister's, and at first he was anxious. Then I've got his bed and his toys and his things, and then I, stuff. Oh, we're here now. And then today we were putting in flooring today in her new house, and he was just like, I thought he'd freak out when we were like, got the hammers out, and then we had to nail gun a couple things, and like the compressor goes on, and he's just like, oh, okay, just starts chewing his bone, like, okay, you don't need me, like. He was terrified, but he didn't flip out. Like,
You're like, good, we're making progress, buddy. We're making progress.
And a nail gun next to you, and you didn't lose it.
Hey.
I don't know. I had to put him kind of in the next room because it was really loud, and I didn't want to hurt his ears. But still. Anyway.
Do you know what your one word is gonna be for the podcast?
Right, you talked about this. One word, eh?
Yeah. What do we want to name this podcast?
Noun or verb?
After it doesn't matter. Whatever you want. Whatever you can think of. What have we been kind of like going around a lot? What's the theme of the podcast? Weed.
Obviously,
just weed.
I'll show you my gummies.
Let's put marijuana featuring Puff Mama 420.
I saw these in the corner. I was going to show you. I've always been like just a baked good person, but I branched out and I made gummies. I got this package here. I opened it up. You won't be able to see the texture. I fucking love this little leaf mold though. Like, look at the texture.
Yeah, I love that. That's big. That's big. We're going from talking about Puff Mama. Oh no, don't do the whole thing.
Yeah, it's 35 milligrams.
I was gonna say. I was like, you are gonna be signing off right now.
I'll
take a little bite.
For now, I'll eat it in little stages. I can eat the 35 milligrams, but I find if I eat it all at once, it's like chugging a coffee all at once. You're like, whoa, I should have done that in sips.
That's a really good way to put it.
So that's kind of how I feel. Like I can eat a lot of edibles, but yeah. Anyway, but I just saw the mold leaf and I was like, all right, I'm gonna sell gummies now because I saw the leaf mold. And I don't know anyone that's doing that. It's all bears or little squares or little things.
It's always like little gummy bears is what people love doing. People love the gummy bears.
Well, guys, I'm making gummy weed leaves now.
Gummy weed leaves?
I don't even think I need a label other than how much is on there, because if you don't know what's in this gummy, you're an idiot.
Yeah, if it's not clear.
You get the gummy bears, you're like, is this
You're like, is this real or not? That was like every time I had a cookie of yours, I had to ask you. I was like, Joey, does this have weed in it?
Like, don't touch that. Unless you want
don't eat that one. Yeah, unless you want to go to the moon.
You can.
Yeah. Yeah, but eat half. That was always the thing too. It's like, I'd give people your edibles and they'd be like texting me like, bro, I'm on the ceiling right now. Like, I don't know what's happening.
What's your problem?
I'm like, how much did you eat?
Yeah, no,
like
there's
the whole
so many
thing.
times when I've told people I warned you, but I also like, I know they're not gonna die. You just have
Yeah, you'll be
anxiety for
fine.
weeks.
Just drink some water, lay down.
I'm never touching weed again. That's not true.
So many
But
people have
that
said
actually,
that.
no, that isn't true. There are people that just like had bad experience and never will again. And
I
I get it.
There was one time I'll never forget this, and it wasn't even my experience. I was in the hospital because I had like the flu. This was like years ago, like easily 5 years ago, and like right to there was just like the thin curtain, separating the different people in the ER, and on the other side of me, I could hear this guy kind of like freaking out a bit. Like he wasn't being loud, but he was kind of murmuring and whatever. And then the doctor comes in and he's like, you've eaten an edible, you're gonna be fine. you just the guy had just eaten like a pot brownie or something, and he was freaked out so much that his friends
Oh my
just like,
God,
I
I've
guess,
seen that so many
took him
times.
to the ER and dumped him off at the ER.
I don't even think you get that anymore. You're like, you ate an edible, you can just, the triage nurse just turned you away.
It's just like, yeah. If you come in
Whatever.
high, they're like, please
Go
go.
get some pizza, you'll be fine.
You imagine you come into the triage nurse and she's like, you tell her, I'm really high, I just ate this edible. She's like, the vending machine is right over there.
Right there.
That's how she solves it.
You're gonna be fine. Go get some
Thank you so much.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. But it's true. They've dealt with way too much of it. And now, could you imagine someone eating too much edibles and they're like, there's no room for you and your stupid edibles. Like,
this man is bleeding right now.
your own. But that's also why the government stuff is like 10 milligrams. Boring. I don't want to have to eat like a bag of candy, to get high.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I will eat a bag of candy.
I'll do it.
But sometimes I don't want to. Anyway.
Yeah, it'd be nice if they sold more powerful ones. The weed place that's close to where I live, I saw something that I had never actually seen before, which it made me laugh so hard later on, because there was another guy who was like, did that just happen? I was like, yeah, because we were kind of walking back the same way. I go in to pick up my weed and there's two guys in front of me and they're kind of holding up the line where they check IDs. And the owner of the place is like, I can't serve you any weed. And I'm like, can't serve him weed? What is he talking about? And then I just hear him go, you're too high, man. He's like, you're already stoned. I'm not going to sell you more weed if you're already high. Like, knowing that you're going to leave here and drive home or do whatever. Right. He's like, and the kid was just not understanding. He's like, what do you mean you can't serve me? He's like, when you are drunk and you try to get into another bar and they won't let you? He's like, it's like that. Wow. He goes, I don't know, man, come back. He goes, come back in an hour. He goes, just come back in an hour. And the kid was like, all right. I was like, he just got turned away because he was too high. I was like, that's crazy. I've never seen that before.
I mean, it makes sense from the government's perspective. They have to put that rule out there that if you can't even say the words to buy what you want,
or like you're fumbling to get your ID or something.
It's about you're making a bad decision. So they want you sober buying your things so that they're not liable later because you were like, fuck, I spent all my money on weed. And you're like, well, you were high when you showed up. Of course you spent all your money on weed.
Yeah.
I think that's part of it. Or,
you could argue
maybe
like,
that's it more for alcohol, like, because you make bad decisions on alcohol. Mind you, I make bad decisions on weed too. It's just different kinds of bad decisions. Like, there's no hookers involved, but there might be A&W at 2 a.m. There might be. That's a bad decision, But
yeah, it's still a bad decision.
I'm totally getting that matzo burger. Fuck it.
It's still a bad decision, but you're not getting AIDS.
Yeah, well, it's just funny to me in the end. Oh well.
Yeah, no, true. I get it. Yeah, what I was gonna say, let's call the word marijuana, or do you want to do weed, or do you want to do edibles?
Reefer. No,
Reefer? Reefer.
Devil's lettuce.
Devil's lettuce.
Whatever. You call it what you want, I guess.
Call it what you want.
The one that I want to call it, like.
Yeah. You title the episode.
I will title it. Sure. Let's go with devil's lettuce.
Devil's lettuce. I'm gonna pop this up too because we're nearing an hour here. Make sure
Yeah,
you.
my last post is on New Year's Eve. Totally.
Oh yeah.
Haven't posted there. I just took a break.
Hey, doesn't matter. Go follow Puff Mama 420 on Instagram, Underground Comedy 420 on Instagram as well. Go to Puff Mama 420 or Underground Cafe 420.com for when you start doing shows again. As soon as
That's easy to remember.
puffmama.ca. That's way easier to remember. Puffmama.ca.
All my it'll end up where it needs to go.
Yeah, that way if you live in the Toronto area and you want to go check out an awesome comedy show once that gets
When
back
we're
up and
allowed
going.
to. Ugh, we didn't even touch on that, eh?
And go subscribe to the YouTube page and go give some of these amazing videos. There's tons of videos on this YouTube page of Puff Mamas from the old place. There's Joe Rogan meeting the Iron Sheik. There's Lake of Weed in Canada. There's Kobe the Cobra, which is one of my favorite Hunter Collins bits.
Dave Rahesh is there too, I see.
Dave Rahesh too. Just had him on yesterday.
Cool. Love that
Dave.
dude.
Yeah, it's so nice that he was just
so weird that we didn't talk about comedy at all. Nice.
Hey, it's good to just go with the flow.
Another episode coming your way.
Exactly. I'll hit you back up when we come back around on the rounds. I'm like gonna definitely have people back on track,
and comedy's more my game.
Yeah, and then you can be promoting all the comedy jazz.
Sneak peek though, I think I have a venue.
Ooh. Exclusive.
There's a place where I've been doing shows. I'm not going to say where or when, but they are a legal dispensary and they just have all this space. So they want to move their dispensary to the front part. We partition it off, and then I've got 1,700 square foot.
Let's go. Nice.
So been taking extra time. Part of why I came to the country too is to write a new business plan.
Let's do it.
Club.
Yeah, get that club going again, Joey.
But also, can I keep my comedy bar show on Wednesday nights?
Yeah. You're like, I still want to produce a comedy bar though.
And there's a good show at Comedy Bar on Wednesday nights. I produce it. We can't smoke in there, but I love Comedy Bar. They've been
Comedy Bar is great. Yeah, it's really a very nice venue. They're great people that run it. I saw that they opened a Danforth location as well.
Yeah, they did.
Go check out Comedy Bar as well if you're in Toronto. Definitely. Great.
There we did our comedy bit.
Yeah, we added it in right at the end. I'm gonna do a little outro here.
Right.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, drop a comment down below with your favorite part from the podcast. And if you're listening on iTunes, Spotify, thank you. Don't forget to leave a 5-star review and share the episode with your friends. But until next time, I've been Johnny Rogers. This has been Puff Mama 420. Take care.
Bye.
You've been listening to The Johnny Rogers Show. New episodes air every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.